successfully connected our HTML form to the database, we can fill out the form and add a blog post. And it'd be nice if when we clicked on home, instead of this stuff, we had a list of all our blog posts. So this will take a little bit of thinking through and a little bit of bootstrapping, but we can definitely make it happen. So coming back here, this is our main thing, and we can still keep this LeBlog post here. And so let's go ahead and change the front of check out these amazing posts below. All right, and then we want all our amazing posts there. So what will an amazing post look like? Well, first and foremost, we would need to set what would we put it in. For this, I'm going to go to Bootstrap. All right, Bootstrap. We're using the 4.6 documentation, just to remember, and I'm going to use a card, the cards. Cards are, like it says, little cards just like this, and we can go ahead and use this kind of code here. This is the full Monty. It has an image, a title, a card, text, a button. We don't necessarily need that. There's the body of it and this and oh, okay. Well, this actually looks pretty doable here. We don't need a list of cards, and it goes on and on like this. I really like this setup here. So I'm going to grab that little snippet of code, or I can just click there, and I'm going to pop it in right there. Okay, and of course there. I'm going to fix the alignment. Okay, here we go. We have the card body. Width is 13 rem, and that's like that we have to look up in the documentation what that exactly means. But we have the card title and all that. Let's see what this looks like. We don't, if we're in debug mode, I don't think we need to refresh. And okay, not bad. Let's work with it. Okay, we want, instead of it saying card title, we want the title of our blog. We would like the subtitle, and then the body here, and then maybe card link. We could actually have this link to a page that will present the entire blog post to us, right? So in other words, this should really be an excerpt of the blog, like the first something characters. But we'll handle this one little bit at a time, okay? So let's see here, card title. Now this is where Python and Flask gets kind of interesting, because we hope to access, we're going to use this kind of their curly brace thing to insert code into all of this. So before we do that, though, we first need to go into and create our route, so our router is here correctly done. So every time we open Hello World, we're not going to call it hello. We're going to say, load all, get all posts, get all posts, and that's going to be the main page. And we're going to maintain it as index, but we're going to pass in an argument, and that argument is going to be posts. And equals to, two posts. Now you might say, well, we haven't created a post yet. I'm going to delete that. What we need to do is we need to go to our database and access it first. So we go to Flask Alchemy, and let's see here. Let's see if they give us any kind of intro, Road to Enlightenment, overview of everything here. Oh my, declaring, inserting, selecting multiple databases, so querying records. This is what we want. So if our table looks like this, and we want to get a person named Peter, we would use the name of the object, so user dot query filter by this and get the first instance of that. So this is a great place to start. Okay, we don't necessarily need to start with Peter, but let's keep that off to the side, and we'll say our post dot query, right, dot filter by, and we don't want filter I, we want get them all. Okay, get them all, and I'm going to call this posts. So what this will do is it will consult the database, query something, and get it all. Okay, get everything in there. And then this will be in the form of, it doesn't necessarily say what it will be in the form of, but it will be in the form of an array of objects. And so we can then pass that array over and deal with it accordingly. All right, so query post, and we actually ended up calling it posts. Posts equals post, that makes sense. So when we render templates, it will have posts for us. Great. Then when we come back to index, we want, let's just make the first one here, right? We do double curly braces, and already it figured out, and this is how we insert some kind of data into it. So we're going to say posts, okay, and it's going to be probably just the first one, okay, and then the property is, I believe, name, okay. I believe that'll work. Yeah, let me just double check that really quick. Post.title, no, it's not name, right, it's title. That's what it's called, title, and then this is called, sure enough, subtitle. But this is enough for us to kind of work with right now, just to see if it'll work. Okay, let's open this up. My first post, it works. If we wanted our second post, right, we would not write 2, we would write 1, and we would refresh now, and sure enough, it's howdy. So we can now, just following our lead there, do that. However, we want something that will work for all the posts. So what we do here is we need to put in a for loop that will iterate over the entire posts object. And you might say to yourself, what are you talking about? I'm talking about this. So every time we want a post generated, we want it to have a separate card. And we just want to use this first card as like a sample of that. So we would need to enter some kind of loop. So again, looking at the way Flask works, if we put 2 curly braces next to each other, it's saying to Flask, I want to put in some kind of content here. If we put a curly brace and a percentage sign, what we're telling Flask is that in between these symbols, we are going to put some Python code, but don't insert it so the user could see it, but run it. Run it as if it was regular Python code. So let's put in a for loop. For post in posts, colon. So this, we are passed, remember, we are passing in an object, an array, a list called posts, and that posts, whoops, just gonna move it over here, is a list, and we are just gonna use a for loop to go through every item on that list and call each of those items post. Before we continue though, we do need to close this tag. So what that means is we opened it here, we opened this loop, let's close it. So we should close it at the end of every card. So here's the end of this card, and we're gonna go ahead and percentage sign, and to close it we just say N4. Simple as that. Okay, now let's make this other code work. We have here, so instead of post title, we just post one title. We'll just put post title. Okay, here we are going for card substitute to subtitle. We'll put subtitle. For the text, we will post body. And then for this link, we are going to put what now? Post it in, and we're going to, actually, we're not going to put anything here. We're going to say read, or just read the article, and then we put the href is going to be in here. Now, this might be a little more complicated because we haven't really figured out how to connect these yet, right? What system are we going to use to make the URLs? So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and just leave this as it is. I'll save that for another video. All we are is trying to get this page generating correctly. All right. So theoretically, now, if we run this, we get everything in this here. And just to prove that this works, we're going to say, all right, test post 3, subtitle, I hope it works, and then we'll put, fingers crossed. And then the body is going to say, let's go ahead and put Hamlet by William Shakespeare. Let's just put play text. Let's just put the entire, see, I've accessed that before. And let's just take a bunch of Hamlet and stick it in there. Okay. And it's kind of long, but, category, we're going to put it in the Hamlet category, of course. Now, keep in mind, we're doing something very exciting here. We're putting in a new category, all right? Submit. All right, it says it's added. So let's go back to the main page, and sure enough, and there's the entire post, and read, and oh, you know what we should put? We should put the category as well. That's a great idea. In fact, we might just have the thing for that. The kitchen sink here, and oh, I like this, a header and a footer. So these cards are gonna have, you can put a footer to the card like this, right? Car header, and then we just put card footer, just like that in here among it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this, so read, it's the card body, and then after the body, we put the footer here, and the footer, right, is going to be, what is it? It's going to be the category, right. Does the category, let's see, what's that going to post? Is that going to post a number for us, or a name, or something like that? Well, it should be interesting. For us. So let's just give it a shot. See what happens here. It pastes the object. So if that's the object, we need to access within the object the name of the category. Just like that. Beautiful. All right. So there's one more thing I want to do. This video is pretty long. We've done so much, but there's one more thing I want to do, which is every time you add a post, right, I'll add a post here, another, more, le post numero cuatro, that's totally French, everything, and this will also be a, I don't know, a blog post, okay, and it's added. So I don't want this to appear. I'd like it to just send me back to this main page, right? So there's, you might have already figured out how to do this. So instead of sending us here to this, we would just we could just do something else like render the page. Now, there is a slightly different way to do it, and I wanna introduce it to you now so that it's there, right? We can use, instead of render, we can use redirect. Okay, it's not available, so let's just come up here, import it. Now redirect, what that does is, instead of rendering, which actually takes the command and processes and put it, rendering sends it to another HTML. Okay, and I want to send this to the main index. So what I want to do is send it to the get all posts, okay, method. And so I don't know necessarily the HTML for that, but that's fine, because Python will do a lot of this for us. Let's use this URL_for method, and we just do URL_for, and in it we will just paste this. Okay, and URL_for, it doesn't seem to like that as well. So maybe that's also a method we need to import. Yeah, URL_for. Yep, looks like we gotta pull that one in too. So what this does is, basically we put in the name of a method, and it will say, okay, create post. Oh, okay, here's the method URL. You want us to go to that route, so I'll send you to that route. Bang. All right, so let's refresh, because we changed the Python. And so we'll need to refresh the whole thing. And let's go to home, and we can check here. Yep, another post, le numero 4, and we will add the post, and the post is going to be le title, le subtitle, le body, text, and then I guess I can just do, this is kind of spammy as well. I don't know. Oh, I don't know if it'll work. Let's see. Okay. Oh, and it worked. It sent us to where we needed to go, and then down here it has everything for us ready to go. Amazing. Okay, so with that in mind, I think we are good to go here. I think that is quite a bit. So again, we just to recap here, we figured out how to redirect. We imported two, if not three more of these, and we got all this. We got the create post, sending stuff, but most importantly, we got this generating a full list of, so it queries, it grabs all the posts from the database, right? That's the process, right? If we go down here, when we get all posts, it queries the database, it gets all the posts in the database, saves it as a variable, and then passes that variable to the index file, which then, while rendering, uses that variable to make a list of all the posts. So in the next post, I'm going to in the next video, I'm probably going to show us how to clean this up a bit, because right now it's one big line. Plus, I purposely made this post super, super long, so we could see what it looks like to just fragment a portion of this. And then I think that's enough for the next video. So I'll see you then.